everybody. Since it's the Christmas season, I thought it was Voice Boys just came out with, which I assume is the one Christmas episode this year. I'm going to do a quick retrospective on all of the Christmas episodes we have got here. And for all of the episodes that I already covered in my retrospectives, I am not going to just copy and paste because that's boring. So yeah, just a little disclaimer. And another disclaimer, instead, because I'm so lazy, I'm going to use Lucky Angel's asset from the Christmas movie they're making. So, yeah, thanks for the asset. And the movie's going to be great. So, without further ado, let's get into the Christmas episode. Jingle bells, jingle. It's Christmas, Voice Boys is a really good episode, but honestly, in my personal opinion, Voice Boys' tantrum brings this episode down a lot. It's because the episode's so fun. Voice Boys is having so much fun, and then he gets one present that wasn't on his wish list. And then he throws a tantrum, and that kind of ruins the episode for me. But, I mean, this is 2019, so I'm pretty sure you should have expected it. But this episode isn't really, so then, the episode isn't really my favorite. So, but it's still a good episode. I don't think it's my favorite Christmas episode of all time. Get ready for Christmas, Voice Boys! This isn't really a Christmas episode. The only resemblance of Christmas in this episode is that they put up Christmas decorations. This could have been just a normal episode, but it's just an episode that could have been a normal episode disguised as a Christmas episode. So with that, it's mediocre. But one part, Roy says this.
Can you stop complaining, Voice Bedoys? You're starting to sound like a baby.
Thanks a lot, Royce, from giving me memories of no hitting Voice Bedoys. Well, that's all I really have to say about this episode. Moving on. I usually hate Wen, but this episode is basically about how Wen is poor and can't really afford gifts, which is actually kind of sad to me. Mostly because, Christmas should be meaningful to everybody, but Wen just doesn't have one because she's poor. And I'm just glad that everybody gives her things, but, and that's really it. Thinking about it thoroughly, I only don't like Wen because of this is the one episode where Wen is actually likable. Unlike one episode, I know Wink. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about this episode. Looking back, this episode is actually worse than I thought. I never thought this episode was that good. It was just a meh episode for me. But looking back makes me realize that this episode is actually not really, just Voice day just not going right, and everybody's saying, "Oh, well, you need to look at the bright side of things." That's really all I have to say about this episode. I'm not really a big, even though Christmas is my favorite holiday, Movie Storytime kind of fumbles with the Christmas episodes, because I literally said hardly anything about the last one. Besides, Christmas should be meaningful to everybody, and here I don't even know what to say. The only thing I can say is that, remember in 2022's episode, the New Year's resolution episode, name-dropped Spider-Man? Well, in this episode, they name-dropped iPhone, which is crazy. And speaking of iPhones, I need a new iPhone. I have an iPhone 12, not the Pro or Pro Max if there even is one. I just have the normal iPhone 12 with 2 gigabytes of RAM with an outdated chip. Like, I need a new phone. And also, I'm pretty sure that but I'm wondering if maybe at this time they whose story time was just name dropping things, because I'm pretty sure the New Year's episode and this episode came out right next to each other. So I'm gonna go look at that and then I'll tell you. And I was actually correct. They came out in the span of 2 weeks of each other. So maybe Woohoo's story time was just better at name dropping people, because they name dropped iPhone and Spider-Man in 2 episodes in the span of 2 weeks. So they probably were getting comfortable with saying name brands, but then they just chickened out the next episode. So yeah, moving on to the next episode. Seriously, Woohoo story time. This was a Christmas episode, a big holiday, and this is what we get. And sing our sleighing song tonight. I don't really know how to feel about this episode, but I mean, it's fine and probably one of my favorite Christmas episodes, because they usually flunk with these. But honestly, it's just Voice being old, which is, I don't know why they did that, but he's old and basically celebrating Christmas with a niece, I'm pretty sure, I don't know. But this episode got my hopes up that Mika died, because they said Mika isn't here anymore. And when I watched this for the first ever time for my 2023 retrospective, or at least or maybe the explaining Voice 2023 with 10 words. When they said Mika wasn't here anymore, I almost started cheering. I was cheering in my head, but then I realized that he showed up and that he wasn't dead, and then I got devastated. Hopefully, if they ever make another old episode, it's when Mika fortunately passes away. Not unfortunately, fortunately. It's the opposite of fortunately, by the way. Dashing, 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 dashing. Yeah, Roy's Bedoys has a Christmas party, and that's basically it. The only thing, I didn't really watch this episode for this video, but all I remember is that Roy's Bedoys didn't like the meal that one brought, and hopefully that's the plot, and if it's not, please tell me in the comments, and write 2 comments, because I love reading y'all's comments. So tell me what you like about this video if you got this far. But hopefully that's the plot of this episode. And I love how everybody respected when a few years ago when this released, and now Voice is just against her. I have no idea what happened there, but yeah, moving on to the next and last episode of this retrospective. Oh, holy night! You might be wondering, Lucky, why are you classifying this episode as a Christmas episode? It's mostly because it kind of is a Christmas episode. At least it's not as bad as what 2022 tried to do. It tried making a Voice Discovers video, but no one watched Voice Discovers. So the fact that you ruined an entire holiday with it, you know, Christmas is like one of the most cash holidays. So the fact that you released a freaking Discovers episode for it is just lazy. But this episode is actually good because it tells a good story. But one thing, was it really necessary to make a 24-hour version of this? Like, I don't think no sane person would actually watch this for 12 hours, right? I will BMO, get out of here! BMO always hogging my space. Well, yeah, that's all I think for all these Christmas episodes. This is going to be posted on December 22nd, I'm pretty sure, today. But it's going to come out on Christmas Day. So, I'll see you there. Merry Christmas.